Hello everyone, welcome on in. If you are new here, hi, welcome. My name is Ash, and if you are returning, welcome on back. So we have a little bit of story time happening today with Ren, and it is for the song Eden. I do believe that it's actually a music video that we're going to be watching along with it. This was actually released like 4 hours ago. So yeah, we're getting in there, okay? So if you do enjoy this video, please consider giving a huge thumbs up. Also subscribe if you'd like to. And if you want to be notified when I do upload here on YouTube, go ahead and ring that bell. And come follow me over on my streaming platform, Kick. Everything's in the description below. If you want to check out those links, they're all there for you. And as I stated in my previous video, we are going to be having a Patreon fourth wall that's going to be opening. It'll probably more than likely be through fourth wall, which is the same thing as a Patreon, just so you're aware. And yeah, let's get to it.
Let me tell you a story as old as time, the story of Adam and Eve. It starts with a God who wanted more. God had just created the heavens and the earth.
Oh, I'm enjoying this.
He had the angels
already
by his side, but they had no will of their own. And so the autonomy to love or reject him was never theirs.
That piano.
All but for one. The once called bringer of light. Lucifer, morning star. Lucifer was the fairest and most intelligent of all the angels. He was the closest thing to God's image, and in his likeness.
Okay, can we just talk on behalf of that piano playing right now? It's like, it's really engaging me, and I'm also loving this like video game style, because if you don't already know, I love video games, so that's also just like getting to me too. But it's very retro style and it's really cool. Okay, let me go back.
He was the closest thing to God's image, and in his likeliness, Lucifer felt restless. He began to question and doubt God. He doubted the hierarchy opposed upon him. He felt God was arrogant. In his frustration, Lucifer built a throne that stood even above God's and declared mutiny. A war ensued. God, being all-powerful, came out the victor and banished Lucifer from the heavens.
Dude, I could listen to Ren tell a story
again, God was alone with his power. Perhaps from loneliness, perhaps from curiosity, perhaps from a desire to share love, God began to work on his greatest project yet, a being that would mirror himself, the human, two humans specifically, Adam and Eve. They were placed inside a paradise built for them on earth, the Garden of Eden. In the garden, God placed a tree that bared fruit that would grant anyone who ate it powers bestowed only to a God, to tell good from evil, left from right, to live righteously or to sin.
Didn't realize we were
the tree of knowledge. God told Adam and Eve they could eat whatever they wanted in the garden, but never the fruit from the tree of knowledge. And if they disobeyed him, it would be punishable by death. The basic way the story of Eden is told is that Eve was tempted by Lucifer in the form of a serpent to eat a fruit from the tree of knowledge. Convinced, she bit the fruit, she passed it to Adam, and he did the same. Suddenly, ultimate knowledge filled their minds, and they realized they were naked and felt shame. God discovered this betrayal and felt angered. He exiled Adam and Eve and cursed them with the life of a mortal. They would work, they would bear children, and they would die. The fate of a human. Now look deeper.
In the story, the serpent tempted me by telling me I would gain ultimate knowledge and that God would spare me.
Both were true.
This wasn't some great deception, meaning that Satan, in the likeliness of God, perhaps understood his intentions. In fact,
the only lie uttered in the
Garden of Eden was
by God, who did not end up
condemning
Adam and Eve to
death.
This could be seen as an act of
mercy, but the sheer fact that the tree existed and that humans
were initially cut off from this knowledge
may imply some part of God was afraid that if humans were granted the gift of perception, they, like Lucifer, would have the power to reject him too. The fact that there stood a beautiful tree
that
could
grant this knowledge in the first place
implies that a small part of
God, supposedly all-knowing,
perhaps wanted and intended
the humans to bite too.
In the Bible, Satan was an exiled angel of free will. Humans are exiled
descendants of Adam and Eve,
also with free will. Not only have we shared a similar fate to the devil, we were also both constructed in the image of our Creator.
Constructed in the image of our Creator.
Meaning our behaviors, in some shape or form, imperfectly echo His.
We could assume that this kind of
God has his doubts, but as the most
powerful being in the universe.
I just gotta say, having both like all these different voices going and kind of like telling their side of the story is a really cool effect that it's having. And I really like how you hear Ren like speak up, and it's almost in like that distorted voice as well. I think is really cool.
But as the most powerful being in the universe, he has no one above him to turn to with questions, and no one to
doubt but himself, an incredibly lonely and isolating existence.
We must only assume that the common thread between God, Lucifer, and us is the desire for more, an eternal curiosity, a desire perhaps birthed from a seed of loneliness. If not, why would we exist in the first place? The constantly looping, bittersweet irony is whether gifted by some omnipotent God or simply a byproduct of billions of years of evolution, here we stand in 2023 as creatures with free will, the only creatures that understand and define good from bad, creatures with the potential of a God. And what do we do with that free will, my friends? We willingly walk to the edge of a cliff. In the name of progress, we jump off the precipice. The empires we build ravage the earth. The natural order of things are necessary to survive. Any systems which do not honor homeostasis eventually perish. Our free will overrides our own biological instinct. We can take more than we eat. We can kill more than we need. We can willingly create weapons with the potential to burn everything we've built to the ground. We willingly decide to bow at the altar of greed, the most insidious and destructive of all sins. We put our faith in corporations who pose as rulers. We willingly allow ourselves to be led by outdated power systems ran by corrupted politicians and bloated dictators who claim...
Can I just point out the fact of how much I absolutely love Ren and how he is not afraid to speak his mind.
Domain and dominion over an open and free land.
We willingly elect the corrupted when the decision was always ours to build something better. We willingly create and impose separation because of beliefs that we are force-fed through our phones and television sets. We always had the will to reject these things, but we adhere to them as though they were the laws of physics. War, famine, pestilence, greed, these aren't things imposed upon us by an all-powerful God or by his demonic adversary. They are here because of us, not because of free will, but because of our inability to use it. We must be motivated to be better, not out of fear of punishment of an eternal damnation, but because the choice exists, because we love ourselves, because we have the power to absolve ourselves of so much unnecessary suffering. Take a second to be in this very moment. In this moment, how much suffering is happening all over the planet right now? How many people are dying of illnesses that could have easily been cured, but aren't because of the selfishness and greediness of humanity? How many people break their backs and reject their own passions to simply afford bills and food? How many of us crave distraction from existence? How many of us numb that pain in whatever way necessary? How many children are being abused? How many people sleep cold and hungry on the streets? How many of us become cogs inside a machine that is destroying itself? How many soldiers have been forced to fight in meaningless wars? How many humans have killed for ideals they don't believe in or understand? How many people have died for the greed of another man? And how much of this was avoidable? As written in the Bible, Satan was not condemned to hell. Satan was condemned to earth. He lives there amongst other creatures with free will, who always had the choice and still chose their own undoing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our self-made hell. The bittersweet irony is this is a creation of our own design. I'll leave you with this. Consider what you have done here today. You have worked together as individuals collaborating to form a giant neural network, a hive mind capable of achieving incredible things. We have lent on each other's strengths to solve puzzles and decipher riddles, and we've done so to win money. Imagine applying that same spirit and determination to creating the closest thing we have to paradise here on Earth. By using the power of collaboration, we can work together to even the playing field for everybody. Our dystopias can become utopias. Our Jahannams can become Jannah. Our hells can become heaven, right here on Earth. And this sentiment applies to atheists, agnostics, and believers alike. Myself, I'm an agnostic who believes. I believe in us. We must do better because we can choose to.
Chills have been nonstop.
We must be better simply because the option exists. Thank you.
You really never know what you're going to get into with Ren. And honestly, just from the fact of what we got into, I was like, okay, this is going to play a religious aspect to it. And I mean, I'm not completely wrong. It did have religion in there, but it's way more than that. It's the power that man here on earth has. And it's what exactly we do with it, you know? And I know some of you may not dive into this a lot or, you know, don't care to, or just like, oh shit, like, yeah, just Ren, you know, talking about certain things or certain facts. And like, you don't really like absorb it, you hear it and you just kind of go about it. Not me. When I hear stuff like this, that is like something that I basically agree on and also speak about myself, is the fact that we as humanity have the power to change the course of the way that things are going. But when you're constantly in a routine of doing things and you're constantly going inside a routine, you're afraid to step outside of it because it takes you and leads you to a place of unknown and uncertainty. And it's scary. Change is scary. Doing things that you're not used to doing it's very scary. And that's just human nature as well. I know that a lot of you, there were some that have left comments before on my previous YouTube videos. It was actually the Oliver Anthony one, the Rich Men of Richmond. And with that, there were some that were just like, well, people as a whole, or they're not meant to not follow somebody. And I'm like, okay, but there's a difference between following somebody and being able to tell them, no, I think your choices and the way that you're going about it is wrong, and just following somebody and knowing that things are wrong, but you're still following them. So that's my 2 cents in it. And what I love about this with Ren talking about it, because most of you, we're not going to get into that aspect of my life, but most of you know my religion, my background, and like, you know, what I certainly like follow and my thoughts behind it. And so when it comes down to it, it's like, it's true. It doesn't matter your religion. Human, we're here, we're all doing things, and that's trying to get by. We're trying to make life be this utopia that we want it to be. But so many of us are trying to make ends meet, trying to do the things, the passions that we love to do. And sometimes we can't because we have bills to pay, and it sucks. It really, really does. Like so many people can sit there, and I don't think there's one person that says, I absolutely love my 9-to-5 job, 5 days, maybe even 7 days a week, where I get paid the bare minimum and I'm working paycheck to paycheck, and that's life. That's not life. That is not life whatsoever. That's prison. Like that is, I mean, not even. I feel like when it comes down to it, like, you know, life is meant to be lived. Working, and this could go to me too, because I am a workaholic, but the difference is I absolutely love what I do. I love my passion. And sometimes I have to be taken away from that and go find other things that I love to do in life, because it isn't healthy just sitting in front of a screen, and it isn't healthy just, you know, having my life dedicated to just these 4 walls, you know? And that's something that I've learned to come across to, and also have learned to kind of change about myself. myself, and I'm still learning because, you know, I'm trying to do things. And like I said, I am changing platforms. I've been streaming on my Twitch channel for about 4 years now, and I've been there 4.5, and we're making a change. We're going over to Kick, which is a streaming platform that isn't even a year old, but I need the change and something that's going to better myself, my community, and something that like we're able to see as, I mean, a place that we do see as home. And it's like, to kind of ensure that with everybody else, it's like you get passionate about it because you want to spread this sort of positivity to people, let them know, give them the knowledge if they're ignorant to certain aspects of it. And that's why I say, come check it out, come hang out with us during streams, all that. But the things that Ren was saying and, you know, acknowledging is just like, people go to war for things they don't even believe in, and they're fighting for things that they don't agree on. And then on the other hand, it's like you're spending all this money on war, on weapons, when it's just like we have so many diseases that aren't cured. And it's like, but all this money goes into these diseases that aren't curable. And it's just like, there's a lot of stuff when it comes down to where you see the hunger for money, where you see the hunger for power, when in reality, if you bring it down to just what each person is, it's like they're just a person. They're not a god. They're not somebody that, you know, one person standing alone. I mean, I'm just saying, like, without having a group of people surrounding bodyguards, like that's why like people have bodyguards. That's why people have security. It's because they're just a person and mortals. Like that's just how it is. And I just think that so many more people like need to kind of, you know, wake up. And it's not like, you know, oh, this person's woke and they think this and they're just, no, it's just being realistic about what it is. And like I said, I have a platform to speak about this sort of stuff. I have a platform to engage in conversation and kind of maybe like influence other people to put their phone down, even if you're watching this on your phone, but put your phone down and actually look around and see what's happening. And you know what, like go out and about. I've been trying to go out like when I have my days off. That's also why having my Mondays also not uploading, why it's like a lot better. But just being able to go out and experience life, and, you know, I'm hoping to take a vacation soon. I haven't really taken one. And that's the thing, too, not being able to afford that sort of stuff as well. And so many people could be like, oh, well, then get another job or get a different job. And it's just like, as I stated before, why? Why is that necessary to make ends meet? Like, just to make ends meet, okay? Like, why is that such a huge aspect to living in society now? Like, you basically work yourself to death. And that, I don't know about y'all, but that doesn't sound fun. Like I said, I only laugh. This is a serious conversation, and I laugh more because of sarcasm rather than, you know, actually finding it funny. But all I ask is people to just do their research, and this comes with like everything. You're gonna see so many things come up on social media that 9 times out of 10 is exaggerated, is possibly the story isn't even true. It's just all social media. Unless you experience it yourself and like witness it yourself, more than likely you're gonna get C's version rather than A, who actually was there, and then B, heard it through a grapevine, and then, hey, you're C. So you're going to take that information that you heard from A and B, create your own story, and then go down the alphabet. So I don't know. Y'all are smart. I know you are. If you're listening to Ren, I know that you definitely are smart. And I'm just telling you, think about the things that you do, the choices you make. You got one life to live, and honestly, you should make it the best life that you possibly can, if you can. And if you can't, there's ways that we can all get together and we can make it possible. I know that's just what we got to do. We got to stick together, and we're here for each other. So, yeah. If y'all like this, please consider giving it a huge thumbs up. Also, subscribe if you'd like to. And if you want to be notified when I do upload here on YouTube, go ahead and ring that bell. Like I said, come follow me over in my live stream. I'm actually going to be streaming here in about an hour and a half. I'm over on Kick, so if you want to come over there, my link's in my description. Everything, as always, is there. I hope y'all have an amazing time zone. Remember, your time's the most valuable thing you could ever give anybody, and I appreciate you spending with me. Bye, everyone.